To make your Easter wreath, what you're going to need is a bag of loose plastic eggs, some wired ribbon, a wreath form. Doesn't matter if it's styrofoam. In this case, I choose a straw. You need those little stuffed animals, about 6 inches. You can get them from any dollar store or your local department store at Easter time. They have a lot of stuffed animals. This one I only paid $1.50 for. Some florist wire, scissors, wire cutters, a hot glue gun, your loose flowers. To get your flowers, just buy your traditional silk pieces, and all I did was clip each individual one off with a pair of sharp scissors, put the leaves aside, some daffodils, some lilies, you know, just odds and ends, whatever flowers you think go with the ribbon that you're going to choose and with the color scheme that you want. The first thing you want to do in any case is take about an 18-inch piece of wire, cut it with your clippers. Sharp scissors will work also. Decide which side you want the wreath to be the top. Everything's not going to be perfectly circle. I take the side that's a little bit flatter on the bottom and I make that my bottom piece so that my stuffed animal can sit on it. Take your wire, wrap it around, twist it a few times. And then what you want to do is just make a small loop so that you'll have something to hang the wreath from. Flip your wreath over so that the front work surface is ready. Make sure your glue gun is heated. Apply a liberal amount of hot glue to your egg. Place it on the wreath in the direction that you want. And just hold it until the glue cools down enough so that the egg's going to stick without you needing to hold it. Just keep moving around. Get all your little spaces filled in so it still looks like a wreath pattern. Keeping in mind the shape should stay somewhat of a circle. Make sure you leave a big space in the bottom for your bow and for where your stuffed animal is going to sit. You really don't want to put any eggs in this space right here. Once you've got all your eggs placed, now what you want to do is you kind of want to go around and just wiggle them just very lightly to see if there's any loose ones. See, like this one over here? And what you want to do is just take a little bit of glue and you want to reinforce the egg so that it's actually being supported not only by the wreath but by its little partners there. While you're waiting for all your glue to dry, now's the time you want to make your bow. Basically what you want to do is just keep going back and forth, accordion style, and just keep going back and forth till you've got a good, I'd say about 2 feet left. And then what you want to do is you want to make a smaller loop in the middle and then take this piece, the end, and wrap it back inside here so you have a bigger loop. Then you're going to take a 6 to 8 inch piece of wire and you're going to put it through and just pull tight in the back. Twist it tight. Make sure you leave enough space so that you can pull this around your wreath in the back. Flatten it out and then just make your bow just by pulling and pushing each one of the loops in different directions till you get it so it's the way you want it to look. Now remember this big piece at the bottom? Just take your pair of scissors and clip it on an angle so that you have your 2 little strands at the bottom. When you're ready, take your bow and apply a small amount of glue right onto your wreath. You're going to place the bow with each one of the wires on either side, turn your wreath over, and connect the 2 ends. Okay, so just fluff up your bow, move it around the way that you want it until you get it to look the way that you like. Well, I take the different leaves from the flowers I'm going to want to put these tucked into the back to kind of cover that wreath itself. And all you have to do is just apply a little bit of glue to the back of the leaf and just press and hold it until it cools and dries. Okay. Once you have all your greenery in place, what you want to do is start laying out your flowers. Now what you want to do is apply the glue to this little plastic piece that holds the petals to the stem. Just a little bit there, and when you go and stick the flower in, just hold it for a couple of seconds. That way it can adhere to the egg. Pull off and just keep going around the wreath until all of the first kind of flower has been glued in. A key thing to remember here is try to do your bigger flowers first, because you don't want to go and put a bigger flower in and then end up with it overlapping a smaller one and looking messy and hiding something that you really may have already placed in a spot that you really liked it, and then you go and stick a bigger flower and it hides whatever you've already done. So go ahead and do your bigger flowers first. I don't want to. Now if you notice on some of these eggs, well, most of them, there's a lot of little holes. And I really don't like that, and I don't want them showing on my wreath. So I'm going to make sure that when I apply my flowers that they cover those holes up. Okay, when you think you're done, best thing you can do is pick it up and take a look at it facing forward like other people are gonna see. And look to see, do you see any holes in the eggs? You kind of see one here, you see one here, see one up here, one over here, a couple down here. And the whole idea is now decide, how bad can you see them? How much is it worth? Do you want to get rid of them, or do you want to just leave them? In this case, I'm going to leave them for a minute, and what I want to do is now I'm going to put my little buddy in there and see how he sits. Maybe he hides a couple of. Take your little buddy, cut the little tag off his butt. He doesn't need it anymore. Then what you're going to do is take a whole bunch of glue. And don't worry about burning him, he's just a stuffed animal, remember? You just put a whole bunch of glue on his butt. Just like you did with the eggs. And then just stick him on there. You know that little loop you put on the back? Use that to hold it up with one hand while you hold your little buddy down with the other. And just hold him until he's dry. Now I use a little chick in this case, when I use a bunny, his ears stick up a little bit higher, and what I'll do is put a little bit of glue behind his ears to kind of hold him to the eggs. If you notice his head up here is touching one of the eggs a little bit, just apply a tiny little bit of glue and then just stick him up there. Then look at it again and see if you still see any holes. I see one here, so I'll probably put a flower there, a flower here, maybe one more here and a couple over here, and it'll be done. And there you go, your little ducky Easter wreath. Not too bad for an hour's worth of work, huh?